Salam and welcome to Ramadan 2021, day number 6. I'm so excited again to be able to bring you yet another Iftar video. Today, we actually got invited out again to go to my cousin's to break fast. On our menu for tonight, she's making chicken curry. She's also going to be frying up some eggplant with roti. I'll be making beef patties to break our fast. She'll also have some fruits, and I believe she's making stuffed dates. So I hope you enjoy this video. But before we get to our cooking, let's continue with our 3 names today of the 99 names of Allah. Number 1, Al-Adim. It means the tremendous, the sublime glory. He is the sublime and the tremendous. You can find this in Surah Baqarah. And for the second name, Al-Kabir, it means the most great. The knower of the unseen and the visible, the most great, the high exalted. You can find this in Surah Al-Ra'd. And for the third name, Al-Muta'al, it means the exalted. He is high above his creation and everyone is under his absolute control. As a side note, although I mentioned the 99 names of Allah is what we're going to be learning this month, there are more than 99 names that are attributed to Allah, but these are the 99 names that are mostly known. To get started on making our dough for our beef patties, I have 1 1/4 cup of regular flour. I have 1 stick of unsalted butter, and this is a very cold butter. It's not room temperature or softened whatsoever. It's still hard. I have 1 teaspoon of brown sugar and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'm gonna go ahead and combine all of these ingredients together into the bowl. And the butter, what I like to do is I like to cut it into small cubes so that I can incorporate it into the flour so that it doesn't turn into a mushy flour. Instead, I want the consistency where the flour is pilly almost. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it into small cubes like this and drop it into here. I have this dough blender. I use this so that I can incorporate the butter and the flour mixture without actually making the butter get too soft, and it does a great job. It's got these little grates in it and it does a great job of breaking up the butter into the flour. I like to use the pastry blender is because if you use your hands, what'll happen is the heat from your hands will start to soften the butter. All right, so I finished up with the pastry blender and I'm simply going to give you an example of what this looks like. See how flaky the dough looks? So to this, I'm gonna incorporate 1/4 cup of super ice cold water. I'm gonna drizzle in a little at a time, simply because you wanna make sure that you don't add too much. You just wanna be able to form a ball from the water. A little bit goes a long way when you work with this dough. All right, so I'm simply rounding it off in here like this with my hand, and I'm gonna turn it into a nice small ball. Look at that. What I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator for a half an hour and let it cool. To get started with my ground beef, I have ground beef that I already pre-seasoned overnight with salt, black pepper, garlic powder, cumin. This is about 1 pound of ground beef. And I have some oil preheating in the pan, and to it I'm gonna add my onions. Let that saute up a little bit. To the onions, I'm gonna go ahead and add in all of the ground beef and just make sure I cook this down. And you're simply gonna cook the ground beef down. It'll take about a good 15-20 minutes. Once it starts to brown, just make sure to continue to break it apart so that it gets nice and crumbly. Okay, so my ground beef is starting to take shape, and to this I'm gonna add some finely chopped bell peppers. It doesn't really have that much longer, just about 2 or 3 minutes, so these bell peppers are gonna cook really quickly. And some chopped broccoli. You can basically add anything you want into these beef patties. You can add green peas or any kind of vegetable that you want. Also, this is some chopped parsley for some flavoring that I'm adding in as well. I'm just gonna give this a nice little mix and try to break up the ground beef a little bit more. And in about 2 minutes, this will be all set. You just have to make sure that you cool this really well before you start to fill your dough. I have my dough that I took out of the refrigerator and it came up to room temperature. I'm simply forming it into a log, and I'm gonna go out as much as I possibly can so that I can get about 10 to 12 beef patties out of this. So I'm gonna simply pinch off from the top about an inch in length. Try to make them all uniform so that your beef patties can all come out around the same size. What I like to roll my dough on is this sheet. It's called Silpat. Just roll each piece of the dough out onto this Silpat and form it into a shape of a ball. It's pretty easy. You just kind of put it in between the grooves of your palm and sort of like curve your palm a little bit like this and just go around in a circle. And you'll get a great shaped dough ball. So this is how I roll it out. Simply like that. Fortunately, it's not sticking. Try to roll it out as flat as you possibly can and try to get it as round as you possibly can. So when you're finished rolling out the dough, you're going to take a heaping spoon of the ground meat, fill it into the dough, and all you're going to do is you're going to hold one end and fold it over and shape your beef patties. First one is done. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of these beef patties. Now that my beef patties are all done, what I do is I take a fork and kind of just press it down on the edges to give it a little bit of a design all the way around. I just take the yolk of an egg and I just brush it on so that it can get some nice color while it's baking in the oven. And that's it. And I'm gonna simply bake this at 375 degrees for 15 minutes or so, and that's about it. Because the beef is already cooked, you just want to make sure that the dough gets cooked. I've joined my cousin at her place. She invited us again for Iftar tonight, and she's got some stuff that she's going to prepare, so I'm going to let her take over on this part. So what are you preparing tonight?
Okay, so my kids requested curry chicken, and Lisa made curry chicken yesterday. So, you know, people love curry, no matter how. So today I'm going to be making a watermelon juice, and I already made a pineapple and mango salad and some stuffed dates with pecans. In this mug, I have already 2 freshly squeezed lemon juice. I like to put lemon juice because it brings out the sweetness and the flavor of the watermelon. Put it to blend, setting smoothie. You do not need to add any water. And I said you can do this the day before, hours before, and keep it in the refrigerator chill. And this is my pineapple and mango salad.
Nice.
Breakfast, I'm gonna stuff some of these dates with peanut butter and pecans. So you just slice the dates, take the seed out, take some peanut butter, this way we make it more fun rather than eating just dates, just to break it up a little. Put some pecans.
Looks great.
So this completes my stuffed dates with peanut butter and pecans.
We're gonna go ahead and start setting up to break our fast. So I'm gonna give you a behind the scenes of how we prepare.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم ربنا أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Ya Allah, we ask you to accept our fasting, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, accept our dua and accept our prayers, Ya Allah. Forgive us for our sins, what we have done knowingly and unknowingly, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, bless this Iftar, Ya Allah, in this home, Ya Allah, and grant this home a lot more Iftar during the month of Ramadan, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, bless the sisters that prepare this Iftar, Ya Allah, grant them Shafi'a, Ya Allah. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you so much again for watching yet another installment of our Iftar video. And please like, share, and subscribe. And I look forward to doing tomorrow's video for you.